Hey, attempt number 2. Hello, YouTube. So today we're going to make some sealed gardens in various sizes. So I have different jars here. Like this one was a seasoning jar, and then these were ragu jars. And I took the label off as best as possible. It still has a little sticky stuff on there, but that's fine. And we're gonna make some sealed gardens, and I might be that weird guy and give them out as as gifts, but I clean them out and they're good and clean. It still smells like garlic, I swear. And first, the little labels, little plastic stuck on there, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I can always get that out later. I just want to get the project started. So first thing I did was harvest some moss here. I harvested the moss from my own backyard. I can't even pick this piece up. But it's a piece of moss here. And in that moss, I'm sure it's just moss, but there's other little seeds and things that'll eventually grow, which is interesting. And you get to see what competes with other things and what takes over and what eventually will dominate and grow. And I also have some, what are these? Alfalfa sprouts here. I'm gonna put a few of those in there, and they'll eventually grow out and die, but they'll add a level of organic compost in there. So I'll put a few of those seeds in there, so it'll be some action of that growing and dying. The moss will always stay, but the alfalfa I don't think will last a long time outside of its lifespan, and then it'll die. But I'm gonna put a few of those in there. So today is the 2nd, so I'll write on the lids here, November 2nd, November 2nd, should be one more, here it is, November 2nd, and even on the small one here, November 2nd, alright, so you'll know how long it's been. I have some that are 6 months old, and you couldn't tell me I made them yesterday because they're doing so well. So I have the dates on the lid. The jars are clean, and your first step is to take some charcoal. I went to the pet store and I got some charcoal. It keeps the seal gardens fresh. If you didn't put the charcoal in there, it would get really funky and just mildewy and rot, but the charcoal kind of keeps it fresh. So you usually do charcoal and then like a stone layer. I'm gonna skip the stone layer because I ain't got no stones, and I'm just gonna do a piece of paper towel if I do that, and then soil, and then my growing layer. So, and this charcoal has zeolite crystals in it, which apparently, spilling it, wasting all my money. That's like $17 worth of charcoal on the ground. But it has the zeolite, which helps with keeping it fresh. So it's like a mineral, I'm guessing, of some kind. I just thought about it. My neighbors probably think I'm out here making bombs. They're gonna call the cops. But anyway. So, until that first line is probably where I would do it. and I have this small one here, which I'm interested to see how that looks. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So I think that's pretty cool, right? Step number uno. All right, now the next step would be to get some good quality topsoil here. And I have Eco Scraps potting mix. Is an organic potting mix. I wanted something that hopefully didn't have like fungus gnats like Miracle-Gro. No diss to Miracle-Gro, but I've experienced a lot of fungus gnats when I get their potting mix, and I don't want that. So you kind of have to pack it down a little bit. So it's like you want to pack it down a little bit in there. All right, and I'm going to use this to like tamp it down a little bit. Use my finger on that one. So I'm going to clean up a little bit here. I would recommend you do this outside. Okay, so there they all are with the soil. So now your next step would be to find what it is that you want to actually grow in each one of these. So as I said, I want to do a couple of alfalfa sprouts just to add something that will give you some height, and then it'll eventually decompose, but it'll add some nutrition to the whole process. So I think I want to do that part first. So I'll do maybe 3 or 4 seeds in there, a couple in there, a couple in there, and then a couple in there. And I think that's it. I don't want many. These containers are small, and you might want to do more, but they'll get so full so quick, and you want to kind of enjoy that space here. I made these in the past, and I've put too much soil in them, and they're like already at the top. So you kind of want to leave enough space so that you can enjoy the growth, because it will kind of like take over. And for the small, I want to keep it really simple. I'm just going to do moss in here. Like so. And it doesn't look all that amazing now, but as that grows, it will be amazing. So I'm trying to be very conservative about what I put in here, because I don't want it to be overwhelming. I think I might put something tall in there, like a stick or something. So I have this branch here. I think I'm gonna just put that in there, and I think that'll be. I think that's nice, and I think I'll put a couple pieces in there, like so. So that's very simple and organic. And before before I put these in a permanent spot, I want to put a little bit of water in there. But for the most part, you're done, and you just put the lid on and set the date, November 2nd, and that's that. Like, can it get any more simpler than that? And I think that's really cool. If you had an office, you can put that in like a little window in an office, and it'll be a conversation piece. It's something that you can look at. And if you don't get out to nature often, I mean, if you're sentimental in that kind of way, you can just be like, wow, there's a park. It's like it really does add like a zen quality to any space. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the next one here, and I'm gonna put the moss along the side. I hope you can see that, man, like that. So I put the moss along the side. I have the alfalfa seeds right here, and I think I also want to do a branch in here. I'm actually not going to do a branch. I'm going to do a stone. So I have this stone here. It's like little shiny parts in there. So you can see it like that. So I'll put the stone in there like that one. So that'll be that simple. And I still might put a branch in there. So I put the little branch in there. And moss will grow up that. It'll decompose. I think I like that. Has like a little color contrast. So put that one in there like that. So let me see. You can't really see it. So yeah, just do whatever you like. Just don't go too overboard, but keeping it simple, I think, is really more attractive than putting way too much stuff in there. So like I said, I'm gonna seal it now, but I'll put some moisture in there. And when you add your moisture, you want to be able to see moisture at the bottom here, but you don't want to add so much that it's so humid that it never is clear. So you want to kind of like use damp soil, and it'll eventually work its way around. But you want to see a little moisture at the bottom here. You don't want like that whole thing filled up, but you just want just a little bit of moisture at the bottom here, and then it'll eventually come up. It'll rain, it'll condensation, and it'll keep your whole little environment here properly moist. Less is more. It's hard to remove moisture, but you can always add more. If you notice things are turning brown, it could be because it's not getting enough sunlight or it doesn't have enough moisture. You can always add a couple drops more of water later on. But the goal is to get it to the point where you don't have to do anything but kind of visually enjoy it. So we'll see. We'll do an update on these in a couple of months, maybe around the springtime, just to see how they're going. But I'm going to finish these off and go from there. As I said, this moss has like all kinds of little other little types of mosses in there and other little seeds, so it'll be interesting to see what lives. There may be even bugs in here. I've had one that had a spider that lived in the environment for months before I guess he eventually died, but it was kind of cool to see him in there capturing little bugs and things and living his best life. You can use the stick here to help you tamp it down. There you go. Again, I'll get this off later, but you know, it's done. This is a little nasturtium flower, and I'm gonna just throw that in there. It'll decompose, but I don't know. I want to be different. A little nasturtium flower. It'll die and go away, but you know, maybe it's a dumb idea, but what's the worst that can happen, right? Okay, and here's the last one. The last one, I'm gonna use this one. It has definitely a different type of moss here, so I want to try something a little different with this one. And this piece here. I found this over there growing. I'm gonna put this in there and see what happens. Actually, there's a whole lot of them on there. You can see them. I'm gonna just coil this up and throw this in there and see if it grows. So that should be kind of cool to see if that takes off. And I'm gonna put the lid on there too. Quick little cleanup. And there they are. Seal gardens. Very simple to do. And this marker, man, these things are, where is it? Where's that marker? This thing here is probably the cause of cancer. I mean, I don't want to diss anybody, but this thing smells like death. But that's neither here nor there. So let's recap. So we have our carbon layer for freshness at the bottom. We have our good quality topsoil here, and we have our moss and other plant material here that will grow, decompose, and fill up the space here. We also have some organic matter here, branches and leaves that'll decompose. It might be get covered in moss. It just adds a visual contrast. And so you want to do that. You can also put your own favorite little charms in there, maybe a bead or a shell or something like that. You could put a label over the sticky part and put a message on there. Always remember to love nature or something inspirational quote. And then these are awesome gifts to give to people who have a little window in their office but that doesn't have the opportunity to get out often. Yeah, I also put some seed in there. I just want to see what that does. But these are some organic alfalfa seeds that I had because I did a little bit of sprouting in the day, and I just wanted to see what they would do. I'm seeing some other cool little things I might want to put in there, but I'm not going to get carried away. I'm going to keep these simple, and we'll come and check them in a little while. There may be bugs that might grow and live and thrive. There may be other little organisms in there, but we shall see. We shall observe these. Let's say every 2 months I'll do an update to see where they progress to. But in the meantime, peace and love, and diversify your life. Do something that you enjoy to do. Try something new today. but I always keep it simple.